What is up, everyone, and welcome to some more F1 23 My Team Career Mode. We're finally here for the Chinese Grand Prix, and I apologize for what was a very long break between the previous video and this one, and I don't really have an excuse for it. I've just been having other stuff get in the way recently, but I'm hoping that I'll be able to go on a little bit of a run, get some videos out in quick succession, and we will be able to make our way through Season 5 of our Jaguar Racing My Team Career Mode. We're here for round number 4 at the Chinese Grand Prix, and it's not been a fantastic start to the season so far. To be honest with you, I don't completely remember all the results we've had, but I do know that we've been kind of struggling to finish in the top 5, struggling to score points on a regular basis, and we currently find ourselves quite far down in the championship. I think we're around P7, P8. My teammate Jack Doohan maybe only slightly higher than that as well. It's just not really been happening for us so far this season, and we really need to start getting some better results now, which is unfortunate because we're about to head to the Chinese Grand Prix, which famously this season has not been a particularly good track for me. I say this season, I mean this game cycle has not been a particularly good track for me. I don't even think I've finished in the points there so far in the 3 times that we've raced there, because it is just such a struggle for me to score points at a track like this. The grip here in the past has felt basically non-existent. I've been struggling to get the power down on the exit of the corners without losing traction, and just generally speaking, it feels like the AI are significantly faster than I am around a track like this. So yeah, I'm gonna need to buck my ideas up pretty quickly and hope that I can get a much better result here if I want to get myself up into that championship conversation once again. You know, last season obviously we missed out on the championship by just a few points. It went down to the last race. Either of us could feasibly win it out of myself and Lando Norris, but in the end it did go his way. This season, once again, he's having quite a strong season, and I could easily see him being up there at the sharp end. Now, practice did not really go according to plan, as I was outside of the top 14, accidentally skipped through the cutscene there, but I can't imagine you're going to be too bothered about that. It was only practice at the end of the day, and yeah, now it is time for us to get into the qualifying. 3 sessions to determine who is going to be on pole position, where we're going to be. I think qualifying has never really been the issue here for myself. I tend to qualify quite well in China. It's just that I always fall back quite quickly, and it's because the AI always, you know, they stick close to me throughout the course of the lap, and then when we get into that long, gigantic back straight that China possesses, they can easily pass me using the DRS, using the battery. It's not really a particularly challenging affair for them. So here we are out on track now, and you can see that we are going to be starting our first flying lap of qualifying. We're on the fresh soft compound tyres, of course, and we're going to see what kind of time we can do. It wasn't a great lap, and we end up crossing the line to do a 1:30.1. I definitely feel like we're going to need a little bit of improvement there if we want to make it through even to Q2, but certainly that will not be a lap time that's good enough for Q3. Now, we were right on the bubble, but we would have actually made it through with that lap time. We were in 15th, so it's worth improving, but it wouldn't have been the end of the world if we hadn't improved, because we would have been through to Q2 at the very least. But we do improve by another 5/10. We crossed the line, so 1:29.6, and that sees us through to Q2 in P9. So not terrible, looking like we're on course to break into the top 10, get through to Q3, which, you know, that would be good for us. Albon goes fastest, followed by Verstappen and Doohan, so Doohan's right up there at the moment. And then the cars that were eliminated, as you can see, were Sonoda, Sargent, Lawson Joe, Stroll and De Vries. So no real surprises on cars that are exiting in Q1 there, and we will see who is out in Q2. There are 7 teams, I would say, who have the potential to make Q3 every weekend, and you know, 2 of them are probably going to be seeing at least 1 driver exiting here, on account of the fact we can only see 10 drivers through to the top 10 shootout. So yeah, I would imagine that you know, Alpine might see 1 driver out. Dennis Hauger, he has been a lot better recently, but I still think there is an opportunity for him to be out in Q2 every weekend. And honestly, at a track like this, it's not out of the question that I even might be out at the end of Q2. And indeed, you can see after that first flying lap on a used set of soft compound tyres, we're only in 13th, so we're going to need a bit of improvement. And we've gone a little bit hairy through the Max Chilton section there. So now it is time to really put the hammer down, and we will see if we can do well through these last few corners to hopefully improve on these fresh soft compound tyres enough to the point that we can make it through to Q3. Because yeah, the initial lap time just wasn't good enough. So we're coming around at the final corner now. Gasly's on a 1:30.0, he's an 11th, but that's about the time we need to beat. It's a 1:29.5, hopefully that's good enough, and we get through to Q3 in P6. So yeah, it wasn't the end of the world. In the end, we just about managed to make it through quite comfortably in the end, actually. 4 tenths faster than George Russell, who is not the person I was expecting to be knocked out there. The 2-time world champion in that Red Bull, he is knocked out in P11. Doohan makes P7, and joining Russell are Gasly, Sainz, Hülkenberg, Hauger, and Fittipaldi. So no massive shocks. I guess Carlos Sainz being knocked out there is a little bit of a shock, but I think George Russell is definitely the headline driver that got knocked out there. No surprises on drivers making it through. You know, Kevin Magnussen has been fairly solid since his return to McLaren at the start of the season, and yeah, I fully anticipate that he will be maybe not a championship contender, but I certainly think he will be supporting Piastri, helping McLaren on their way to contending for the Constructors' title this season, which is something that I've been gunning for myself and doing. So he crossed the line on a used set of soft compound tyres at the start of Q3 to do a 1:29.9, which is actually a pretty decent time on a used set of tyres, but I'm going to have to hope that I can improve a little bit further. By this point, Albon was already in the 1:28s, so I said I can kiss goodbye to pole position here, but certainly I think there is an opportunity for us to do quite well here. We're about 4 tenths up on Esteban Ocon as we came into the final sector there, so I'm anticipating that we should at least be in the top 5 here, if not maybe even better than that, which is kind of a bit of a turn up for the books here, considering at one point it was looking like I wasn't even making it through to Q2 or Q3. To end up in the top 5 would be a pretty decent result. If we can get a few points here come race day, that would be a fantastic result for the Chinese Grand Prix, which has given me so many issues in the past. And as we round the final corner, we're going to cross the line to take a 1:29.3, and that is good enough for P3. Well, I'm pretty happy with that, to be honest with you. I wasn't expecting that, but I think it's a good result.
And with qualifying complete, let's review our top 3 today. Albon, Oscar Piastri, and Robinson. Goodbye for now then, but we are really just getting started. Make sure you join us again for Lights Out tomorrow.
Yeah, only Albon and Piastri went faster there. Albon 4.5 tenths faster than Oscar Piastri. He's done an absolutely sensational job there, and now it is time for us to get into the Chinese Grand Prix.
The Chinese Grand Prix then is upon us once again. A race that saw Michael Schumacher claim his final Formula One victory in 2006, as well as Red Bull's first with Sebastian Vettel in 2009. There's no doubt plenty more drama to come here in Shanghai. Shanghai International Circuit then is a 16-corner high-speed thrill ride. The long and ever-tightening right-hander at turns 1 and 2 tests the driver's patience, and the flat open to the elements location tests their skill in a crosswind. 2 DRS zones will assist passing, and they're available into turn 1 and down the kilometre-long back straight into turn 14. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. What a great lap from Alexander Albon yesterday. He'll start from pole position, and Oscar Piastri completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Robinson, Magnussen, Norris, Verstappen, Ocon, Perez, Doohan, Leclerc, Russell, Gasly, Hülkenberg, Hauger, Fittipaldi, Tsunoda, Sargent, Liam Lawson, Joe, Stroll, Sainz, and Nick de Vries rounds off the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track. And Anthony Davidson joins us for this one. And great to have your company. There's no weather to worry about here. What will be going through the drivers' minds as they finish these last-minute preparations?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the rundown into turn one, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It will keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
After the points finished last race, let's aim to keep that momentum going.
So it looks like it's going to be a pretty straightforward medium hard strategy here, and that makes sense because, you know, if the grip is bad, if the traction is bad, that suggests to me that the tyre wear is also going to be quite bad. So soft compound tyres not really feasible around here. And yeah, I've been struggling for grip throughout the weekend so far, and going on to the medium and hard compound tyres, which are famously the less grippy tyres, that suggests to me that I am going to struggle around here quite significantly pretty much the whole time, pretty much for the whole 28 laps. That's why I kind of had to take a bit of time off and psych myself up for this, because I just really don't enjoy this track. I think, to be honest with you guys, going forward, if we do another season after this one, which I hope we will do, but you know, with the supposed accelerated release date once again of F1 24, it's looking like we may only have time for maybe 1 or 2 more seasons after this. I'll probably do a 16 race season and just take out all the tracks that make me want to tear my hair out when I race around them, of which this is certainly one of them. So hopefully we won't have to take a month break between the next time we do one. But anyway, it is now time for the lights to come on. And the lights go out, and you can see we've had a very good start compared to the pole sitter Alex Albon there. Onto the grass a little bit as we get ahead of him, but Oscar Piastri has had an even better start there, and he makes his way up into the lead of the Grand Prix. And yeah, well, we've got to get on him really quickly if we want to get into the lead here, because otherwise he's going to start pulling away. You know, I was talking about how much I was struggling on this track, and that has already become apparent on the exit of the corner here. You can see that the gap has increased to 5/10 there. And yeah, I think Oscar Piastri might already be checked out of this race. I don't know what it is. I think it might be something to do with the fully upgraded My Team car. You know, we've known it's been a bit buggy for a while with the brakes and stuff like that, and that's something I really hope gets addressed in the next game. But you know, given how much love they've given My Team career mode in the years prior, which is almost none, to be perfectly honest with you, I would wager to say that that's probably not going to be addressed, but we will see. So yeah, I've got the fully upgraded car, and as a result the braking performance is just absolutely shocking into all of the corners. Basically, it just feels like I have to brake so early compared to the AI to get through any kind of corner. And not only that, I'm struggling for grip, I'm struggling for traction, and as a result Max Verstappen is already going for a move on me. He doesn't even have the DRS yet. We're going to try and fight this a little bit up the inside as we get into the hairpin. We're going to be wheel to wheel going through here. We give him just enough room to stay on the track, but not much more, and as a result we make our way back into P2. Piastri has checked out. P1 Astri will be real at the end of this race, most likely, unless something disastrous happens, because 2 seconds in one lap, whilst I'm holding up Max Verstappen, he is going to be thanking me quite a lot, you would have to imagine, because I am just allowing him to break further and further away out front, and no doubt go on to win the Grand Prix as well. So as we switch to the replay camera here, you can see I'm coming under pressure from Max Verstappen once again as we get into this this sort of long right-hand corner, and as we get into the back straight, you can see we're going to be alongside each other once again, and this time I don't think I'm going to be so lucky as to fight with him and keep him behind. We've got a few cars for company behind as well. I believe it is Norris, then Albon, but I could be wrong. It could be the other way around. This could be Albon directly behind me. I think it is, actually. I think that's Albon that got stuck behind me, and Lando Norris went for a dive bomb around the outside of his teammate. Max Verstappen has made his way up into P2 now, and Lando Norris, our former championship rival from last season, is on the verge of kicking us off the podium. He's going to go for a move up the inside here. Is he going to make the move in this corner? Yes, he is, but what does that mean DRS wise? Does that mean that I'm going to get the DRS here, or is he going to get it? In any case, he's already almost 5/10 ahead of me just on the exit of the corner, and so even with the DRS, it's not guaranteed I'm going to be able to get ahead of him. We've also got Albon only 1/10 behind. It looks like he's going to go for a move here as well. and I don't even catch up to Lando Norris there. Albon dives up the inside of me there, brakes way later than I do, and well, we make the corner quite nicely. We managed to send it around the outside of Albon, so we've held on to P4 for now, but you can see exactly where this race is going, can't you? I'm just going to continue plummeting further and further and further down the order, because I cannot for the life of me have the pace over these guys. And some people will, you know, I'm sure that there will be some people having this kind of desire to get down in the comments and type, "Ooh, it's a skill issue." But you know, there are other tracks where I can race quite comfortably with these guys on this AI level. So that's why the solution isn't just turn the AI down, because I was actually genuinely thinking about it at one point, and then I thought to myself, well, hold on a minute, that wouldn't even work. So I don't really see what the point in doing that would be. It would just give me a lot of easy wins on other tracks. You know, if I take a like 90 AI to Japan or something like that, I'm just going to dominate. And where's the fun in that? We just saw Logan Sargent retiring from the race as well. He becomes the first retirement from the Chinese Grand Prix. And now Kevin Magnussen is going for a move up the inside. He's making his way through to get up into P4, and it's currently P1 and P4 for McLaren, so they're having a really, really strong race. And you can see, if you look at the mini-map down in the bottom left corner, Oscar Piastri has fully checked out compared to Max Verstappen. And I mean, the two-time world champion Max Verstappen, as he is in this canonical series of events, he is going to have to do something quite spectacular in order to catch Oscar Piastri before the end of the race, because he is already a long way out in front, about 5 seconds by the looks of things. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this was just an easy dub for Oscar Piastri. Meanwhile, we've got to focus on keeping Alex Albon behind as we make our way onto the back straight once again. And I mean, I think you know where this is going, as Alex Albon comes up the inside. He's going to go for the move, and by the time we get to the corner, here's a full car length ahead, and there is just absolutely nothing I could do there. And I mean, now he's just going to continue braking further and further away. I'm just struggling so much for grip. It's unbelievable. I just can't get any traction on the exit of these corners whatsoever. And as a result, by the time we get there on the next lap, Alex Albon is already over a second ahead of me, and now it's going to be Esteban Ocon going for the move up into P6. So we're just losing about 1 position per lap at this rate with the DRS, because by the time we get to the back straight once again for the next lap, the car ahead of me has broken out of that DRS range. We exceed track limits there, get our first warning of the race, I believe. So yeah, we should try and do well not to get too many more of those, or otherwise we are going to be in a bit of a sticky situation where we're going to be picking up penalties and things like that. You know, we can afford 1 more of them, and then it's going to be a penalty. So yeah, we'll try and avoid going off track again if we can help it. Meanwhile, we've got Pierre Gasly for company behind us, and looks like he's going to go for a move on the soft compound tyres. Very bold of him to start on the soft compound tyres here. I would never be able to do that, even if I did have a set of fresh softs. I still wouldn't be able to do that. Sergio Perez is also trying to go up the inside of me there, but he's going to have to wait a little bit longer, and as a result, he actually gets passed by Charles Leclerc as well. So as we get our second track limits warning there, we're now going to switch to the replay camera, and we're coming under pressure from Charles Leclerc, who is coming up the inside as we enter this long right-hander, and I think we're just about going to keep him behind on this occasion, but he's going to have the DRS here, so I don't see how on earth we're going to be able to hold both of these guys behind. This could be a 2 positions lost in the space of 1 straight here, 1 DRS zone. There goes Charles Leclerc up the inside. We're going to try and tuck into the slipstream to keep Perez behind, and Perez is on my inside there, you could see just for a second. We dive up the inside of Charles Leclerc there. That was a bit of a dangerous move coming out from myself, but fortunately he preempted it. He got out of the way, and as a result, we've managed to hold position, maybe for the first time since lap 1 when we were battling with Max Verstappen. But anyway, Sergio Perez has now got ahead of me there. He dives up the inside at a very opportunistic position, and he's now up into P8. I'm down into P9 on lap 9, and I wouldn't be surprised if Charles Leclerc was coming down the pipeline very soon as well. We managed to hold him off for 1 lap, but then on lap 10 he just makes his way through with relative ease, and he is up into P9. We're now here in P10, and on the fringes of the points. We're just falling further and further and further down the order. This is absolutely pitiful, the situation we find ourselves in right now. and I just don't see how it is going to get any better. I wouldn't be surprised if we finish, 16th at this rate, because even the likes of Nico Hülkenberg are starting to catch me now. George Russell is on my inside, and he's making his way up into P10. So that is it. On lap 11, we are out of the points in P11, and we've gone from starting in a podium position to this. So on the end of lap 12, I've decided now is the time I need to pit. This is when the soft compound runners are coming in, I know, but I reckon I can make a set of hards go 16 laps around here without too much trouble. So we're just going to pit and see what we can do, and pray to God that hopefully the hard compound tyres work a little bit better than the mediums did, because that was absolutely embarrassing for a first stint. Just absolutely no pace around here, and it's making me, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, it's making me look forward to Baku, which is not something I ever was convinced would be something that I would feel, but here we are. I am now optimistic about the Azerbaijan Grand Prix in comparison to this, which, if you remember some of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix I've had, you'll know that is quite a radical thing for me to say. Nico Hülkenberg goes for a move up the inside as we make it into the hairpin, and I think we're just about going to be able to keep it ahead of him round the outside at the hairpin. He's going to try and go back round the outside of me into the final corner, but it doesn't work, and we have the DRS, and Nico Hülkenberg is going to have to lose out not only to me, but also to Dennis Hauger now, who's overtaken him as well. So he tried to gain a position, ended up losing a position, and that is the trade-off. Charles Leclerc still ahead of me, as we tried to go for a little bit of an undercut. Clearly it didn't work, and now as we get to the end of lap 15, we're going to have to try and absorb some pressure from Dennis Hauger as he tries to go up the inside, and actually manages to pull it off as well with that superior braking performance, which obviously isn't for lack of upgrades. It's just something to do with the way the game is designed. I don't really get it, but he makes his way past with relative ease. However, I think we are going to be able to fight back and get ahead of him and make our way back up into P11 here, are we? Dennis Hauger trying to keep around the outside of us. We also go for a very opportunistic move on Sergio Perez. I don't know what we were thinking doing that, but somehow we've managed to pull it off, and we are up into P10. So we're back in the points, and hopefully we will be able to stay here, and maybe even if we can just score a point or two, that would be a real turn up for the books. However, Sergio Perez once again is going for a move up the inside, and we're going to have to settle for second best down in P11 outside of the points once again. Will we be able to get him with the DRS here? Maybe, who knows. Either way, I don't think we're going to be able to keep him behind for another 12 laps, even if we do. So we're going to dummy to the inside, go to the outside, but we have to brake nice and early, and Sergio Perez defends very nicely into the corner because he has that superior braking performance, and nothing we can do to get ahead of him there. Here's our second retirement from the race. It is Esteban Ocon in the Alpine, and we will be saying goodbye to him in this race. Only 20 drivers remain out of the 22 that started, but what that does do is it promotes me up a position, so we find ourselves all of a sudden in P9. Not for very long, granted, because there goes Dennis Hauger making his way up into P9. But we're still in the points. We're still on the fringes of the points. So maybe, just maybe, there is a chance for us to score something here. Even if it is just 1 point, it will be a very meaningful point, given how much I've struggled around this circuit historically. And now Nico Hülkenberg makes his way up into P10, and it might be the end of the points for us, but I'm going to try and fight him back. He's only in a Haas. This is not a fully upgraded car. The top 7 teams have all fully upgraded cars. I believe maybe Williams do as well now, I'm not sure, but as far as I know, Haas don't. So this should be possible, and you can see we have lightning pace with the DRS in the pit straight, and that is enough for us to make our way up the inside and get back into P10. I'm not giving up on this one. I want those points. I want that 1 point, just 1 point, and I'll be happy here. Lap 20 now, and you can see that Carlos Sainz has made his way through, and he is up into P11. And it looks like he's going to be giving us a run for our money here as we go into the hairpin, he's going to be coming alongside us, trying to go up the inside, but he can't quite make the move on this occasion. We're going to hold on. We're going to survive for now in China, but we still have 8 laps that we'll have to defend from Sainz and Russell. So this is not going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination. We need to really put the hammer down now and get our elbows firmly out as Carlos Sainz goes up the inside of us once again. But we're going to have the outside line in the hairpin, and that is going to be enough for us to hold on to it for one more lap. And well, you can see that we are really struggling to keep these guys behind now. As we move on to lap 23, you can see that actually for the first time we've managed to break out of that DRS range just for a second. But yeah, Jack Doohan has started carving his way through the cars behind as well, and all of a sudden he finds himself in P11, but he's battling with Carlos Sainz, and maybe Jack Doohan is about to be an absolute G here for us, and kind of cause a little bit of a hold up for Carlos Sainz and himself and the other cars behind. And maybe that is going to allow me to break away for P10 here. That would be an absolutely fantastic outcome if that was true. However, I somehow don't think that it's going to be as simple as that. But you can see the gap now behind 2.2 seconds. That should give me at least a lap or two of respite. We know that the cars are about a second faster than me per lap when they're not battling with one another, as as demonstrated when I got overtaken every time previously. But yeah, it has given me at least a little bit of respite to just kind of focus on my pace, focus on breaking away. But like I said, it was very short-lived. Lap 25, we're now coming under pressure from our teammate Jack Doohan here, and well, we actually make contact there as he makes his way ahead of us, and kind of leaves us for dead a little bit here, as George Russell now is making an overtake around the outside of us as well. And this could be 2 overtakes in one lap. However, I'm not letting go, and we managed to get back ahead of George Russell. We will have the DRS here as well. It seems like Russell has the slightly faster pace, so he's going to try and attack to our inside here. Who's going to brake later? It's obviously George Russell, but who wins out here as we look at our rear wing? Will it be me? Will it be Russell? We're wheel to wheel still. I've managed to cling on to it just about, and as we go through the final corner, who's it going to be? Will it be me? Will it be him? It looks like I've managed to hold off, and we stay P11 for now. But what that has meant is that Jack Doohan has broken away, and he is up into P10, and it looks like we may have to kiss goodbye any hope of scoring points here today. So now it's just a case of consolidating points for Jack Doohan if we can, by holding up George Russell for as long as I can. So we dummy him to the inside. We're going to try and fire the car around the outside into the hairpin. We go too deep, and that is what's going to allow George Russell to break away. We're down in P12, and well, I think this might be the best that we can get here. We've also got Carlos Sainz for company right behind us. Will we be able to hold him off for 2 laps? It's going to be difficult, but we might be able to pull it off. It all hinges on this right here, right now. Carlos Sainz has made his way through. He is up into P12, and surely that is the end of it. We will have the DRS on him in the next DRS zone, and crucially, he won't have DRS to George Russell, so maybe, just maybe, we'll be able to stay with him and mount a bit of an attack on him here. We're going to see what we can do now as we deploy the DRS. We're deploying the battery. Will we have enough pace to try and go for a move here on Carlos Sainz? It doesn't seem like it, unfortunately. However, we're going to go for our signature move that we love to go for, up the inside at turn 2, and we make our way back into P12. Yes, it's not for points, but I just want the pride at this point. I don't want to be the lowest finisher of all of the top 7 teams, because that would be truly disappointing. And so we've made our way through on Carlos Sainz, and now all we have to do is defend for the rest of the lap. We have a lot of battery saved up, still 40% in the tank, which we can basically use exclusively in that final DRS zone to try and mitigate the effects of Carlos Sainz's DRS that he will have to us, because he's only 4/10 behind us at the moment, and we're about to come up to the DRS detection point. So yeah, it really comes down to whether Carlos Sainz can nail these last few corners, and how powerful my battery is compared to his DRS. Oscar Piastri, as I predicted many laps ago, has won the Grand Prix. It's a Mercedes finishing in P2. It's not Verstappen, actually, so I can only assume that's Lando Norris. And now, here's the big one. As we're deploying all of the battery we have, Carlos Sainz is still going to come to the inside. We're going to be wheel to wheel going into the final corner. Obviously, he brakes a little bit later. The tyres are shot at this point as well, and we go deep into the corner, but we manage to hang it around the outside of Carlos Sainz, and as we come through the final corner, we've kept him at bay. We've got a bit more battery to deploy to keep him behind, and we're going to cross the line to take P12. And my goodness, what a stressful end to that race that was. But we've just about managed to hold on to that P12, and we are not the lowest finisher out of the top 7 teams. Carlos Sainz somehow gets driver of the day in spite of all of that, and yeah.
It was a tough race at times, but they've held on to take a great victory for McLaren today. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
Our winning drivers are on their way to the podium right now. It's been a fantastic race for McLaren, that's for sure, and no doubt they'll be celebrating tonight.
Well, it is a victory for Oscar Piastri here, with Lando Norris and Max Verstappen completing the podium. A disappointing result for myself down in P12, but hopefully we can bounce back in Baku and grab at least some points there, even if it's not a win. Hopefully we'll at least be able to find ourselves back in the top 10, because we can't allow a repeat of this, otherwise we're going to be out of championship contention very quickly.
It's a good result for Lando Norris, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. And after this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the drivers' table. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
Oscar Piastri gets my vote today.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. There was also a strong showing from the McLaren team today as they make their way up the standings. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time? Be sure to join us again as we continue to bring you the latest excitement in Formula One.
Well, we're far from out of it yet, because whilst the Mercs are starting to break away at the top of the championship, and despite the fact that I'm currently in P10 in the championship, it's very tight with most of the drivers that occupy between 3rd and 10th place, only about 10-15 points in it. So, and only about 35 points to Lando Norris up top as well. So I'm feeling like there is very much still a chance for us to get back into this championship without too much difficulty. We just need to go on a bit of a run of results. We need to get a good result in Baku and in a number of the other tracks that are coming up soon. You know, obviously Baku's not one of my strongest circuits, but you know, I've been doing a little bit better at Imola recently, so I'm hoping that that one might go well. We've also got, you know, the other European circuits that are typical. I'm restraining from actually saying the names of any circuits because I don't remember which 3 circuits are missing from this year's calendar, because like I said, it's been a little while since we did this career mode, so yeah, I don't remember what I struck off the calendar, but we can check at the start of the next video to see what tracks are on the calendar, what tracks are missing, and where I think I'll be able to pick up some points. But yeah, in terms of this race, unfortunately, just couldn't get anything going. It went basically exactly as I predicted. You know, much like a certain YouTuber's most recent video at the Mexican Grand Prix, this felt pretty slip and slidey as well. So yeah, just an unfortunate predicament we found ourselves in, where we just could not get anything going. And yeah, and as a result, we just slipped out of the points, and yeah, we're gonna have to try and regroup and make ourselves get back in the points for the following race. You know, it will be a sprint weekend as well at Baku, so hopefully that'll present a couple of opportunities to get into the points. But you know, just because there's a couple of opportunities doesn't mean we'll necessarily take them. It's still a track I struggle at quite a lot, and yeah, I mean, if we're talking tracks that I don't really enjoy racing at, that would have to be up there as well. It's just a really difficult section of the season for me, with you know, Jeddah, which has not been great for me either, which is a shame because I actually really like Jeddah as a circuit, but against the AI it's just very, very difficult for me. And that, I think that's the crux of a lot of these tracks, is they I'm not necessarily bad around them, compared to other real-life drivers. It's just that the AI feels significantly faster than me around some of them. But then there's others, like Japan, for example. That's the one I always go back to, where I feel like I dominate there no matter what. I can hold on to a race victory for 25 laps or however long it is around there. So yeah, I'm not really sure where the consistency is there, but I guess there isn't really any. So yeah, the next race is going to be Baku, as I've said many times at this point, and I'm hoping that one will go a little bit better for us. But that is going to be it for this video. So if you enjoyed it, please make sure you like and subscribe, and hopefully I will see you in the next one.